I never believed in ghosts living inside people. Not until I met Rosa. I was working as a radiology technician at County General when she came in, 74 years old, bent over in pain, clutching her stomach like she was protecting something precious. The nurse said she'd been complaining about abdominal discomfort for decades, but this time it was different. This time, it was unbearable. "Please," she whispered to me in the X-ray room, her voice trembling. "I know what you're going to find." I smiled politely, thinking she was just another anxious patient. I'd seen thousands of scans, kidney stones, tumors, hernias. Nothing surprised me anymore. But when that image came up on the screen, my hands went cold. There, curled in a fetal position inside her abdomen, was a fully formed baby, calcified, turned to stone. I stared at the monitor, unable to speak. The skeletal structure was perfect. Tiny fingers, curved spine, a skull tilted as if sleeping. But the bones were dense, white, encased in calcium deposits that had built up over decades. "How long have you known?" I finally managed to ask. Rosa's eyes filled with tears. 34 years. She told me her story in a voice barely above a whisper. At 40 years old, she'd felt the first flutter of life inside her. She was pregnant, finally, after years of trying. She lived alone in a rural village, hours from any hospital. No phone, no neighbors close enough to hear her scream. The baby grew. She felt him kick, felt him move. She prepared a small room, knitted blankets, whispered lullabies to her belly every night. But at 7 months, something changed. The movement stopped. She waited for 3 days, praying, hoping, pressing her hands against her stomach and begging him to move. But there was only silence. And then the pain started. Labor pains, she thought. She was going into early labor. But no matter how much she pushed, how much she cried, nothing happened. The baby wouldn't come out. Her body wouldn't let him go. Days turned into weeks. The pain became a dull, constant ache. Her belly stayed swollen, hard. She couldn't afford to travel to the city, couldn't afford a doctor, so she just waited. Her body, in some desperate act of protection, began to calcify the tissue around the baby, covering him in layers of calcium, like a tomb, keeping the infection from spreading, keeping her alive. She lived with him for 34 years. "I felt him sometimes," she said, tears streaming down her face. "At night, I'd swear I could feel him move, just a little, like he was still trying to be born." I didn't know what to say. The medical term is Lithopedion, a stone baby. It's so rare that most doctors never see one in their entire career.